Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. All right, brand new week, and you'll find out that I'm in a strange place this week. This is not Houston, Texas. And I thought, in a strange place, what a wonderful time to spend the week looking at strange passages in the Bible. Passages that make you go, didn't know that was in there, or something along those lines. And I thought I might start with one that's found in 1 Kings chapter 13. It's an interesting story. And a good friend of mine said, I'd love you to put this in a video thought for the day and hear what you've got to say about it. So here's the story. There's a prophet of God in the southern kingdom of Judah who is sent up to prophesy. And he goes up to prophesy against the high places that are being used for worship in Bethel and in some other places up north of where he's from. And so he goes up to do it, and he's told after he prophesies, and it's not a good prophecy, it's about the wicked king and the sacrifices that are being offered wrongly in an idolatrous way, and that God's going to destroy that altar. And it's just not a good news prophecy. And then the prophet's told to go home in a different route than he used to get there. Not to eat anything, not to drink anything, get the prophecy done, go home, new route. Well, when he gives the prophecy, the king and the locals say, come on, let's talk about it. Let's sit down and eat. He says, no, God told me not to. Meanwhile, there's another prophet who's an old guy who comes out and says, look, I'm a prophet too. Come on over to my house and let's talk about this. Actually, send someone to get him. And the prophet says, no, I'm not supposed to eat or drink anything. And this is what God told me to do, to go home a different route. And the old prophet said, well, God also told me that you should come. And the old prophet was lying. He was deceiving. He was tricking the guy. And the prophet had clearly been given instructions. The prophet who was sent by God had clearly been given instructions on what to do and what not to do. But he set aside his instructions and just went with the old prophet. And as a result, the outcome was pretty miserable. The prophet who disobeyed God and believed the lie of the older prophet wound up getting killed by a lion, getting buried away from home. It was not the way you want your day to end. What do you do with a story like that? Well, it's an interesting story, but it's got some pretty good morals for us. This is a story that teaches us, fundamentally, if God tells you to do something, don't do something different just because someone else wants you to. When God sets your hand to a direction, follow God's lead and nobody else's. Even if they claim to be from God. Even if they claim to be giving you something you want. I have no doubt the guy was hungry. Probably thought, hey, this is pretty good. I've got a chance to eat now. But no, you don't do what we want to do. We do what God tells us to do. And if we don't, the consequences can be dire. Think about it. It's one of those strange passages of Scripture, but it's still your video thought for today.